This place just feels so alive.
Rolling meadows, immense forests, the spring song of the meadowlark, the bubbly sound of the bobolink.
The fragrance coming out of those beautiful plants, and all the insects, all these beautiful native species.
We've got to preserve this habitat. We've got to preserve this balance.
There is no question that there are a lot of practices across the agricultural sector that need a really hard scientific examination to try to prevent a worst-case scenario where you see massive and irreversible declines of pollinating insects, insectivorous birds, and then the ecosystem services that are related to that. There is an increasing recognition that if biodiversity continues to decline or even collapse, that it threatens to undermine the stability of the food system writ large.
We're losing some of these species that contribute to our livelihoods every day. And so we need to do whatever we can to protect them. Virginia Working Landscapes is monitoring the abundance and diversity of grassland birds. In particular, we're interested in the nesting success of declining species like bobolinks, our grasshopper sparrows, our eastern meadowlarks. So the research with Virginia Working Landscapes is not only intended to produce sound science, but it's also meant to help instill value in the species that people have on their land. You can't care about something you don't know about. And we have the capacity to improve the entire ecosystem that functions together that keep these species here.
Nobody is successful on their own. Everyone's a success when they're part of a larger team and a larger collaboration. This was a property that was very degraded, and I was really interested in the issue of using livestock to actually regenerate a landscape. So this is a grass farm. We use livestock to manage that grass and to harvest that grass and to serve as a product that we can sell. Working with Virginia Working Landscapes has sharpened our focus on the environmental aspects of what we're doing. Probably the most important practice is the idea of high-intensity rotational grazing that help both the biodiversity of the soil, but also the structure of pastures. Now, there's no question that this farm is much healthier. It's been a give and take. What's perfect for the birds is not perfect for the farm business. What's perfect for the farm business is not perfect for the the birds or the insects, the pollinators. So it's always finding that balance. One of the incredible rewards for this work is realizing that you're part of this larger community that's restoring larger landscapes.
We create a space where people can share knowledge. So it's not scientists to landowner, it's a dialogue that's going both ways.
I wasn't paying as much attention to the grassland birds and knowing what to look for and what practices to adopt, which would be conducive to their population growth. Working with Amy at Virginia Working Landscapes, I've become more in tune with the needs of the grassland birds. So I work for American Farmland Trust as the Mid-Atlantic Sustainable Grazing Manager, and I'm managing a project here in the local area working with producers to increase regenerative grazing practices. Live here in Madison, Virginia with my wife, Jennifer, and our 3 kids. Each morning we wake up and we go feed the cattle, check the sheep, rotate the chickens out in the pasture. It's just a really peaceful place to live. A lot of times in agriculture, we see environmentalists on one side of the spectrum and agriculture on the other side, and it's really important for us to try to bridge that gap. And so we started working with Virginia Working Landscapes to try to incorporate more bird-friendly practices. We've started hanging up kestrel boxes on the different farms that we rent, plus the producers' farms that I work with. We've also been trying to work with landowners to delay their haying and their pasture clipping, preserving some of the nests of the grassland birds. I certainly would love to see more grassland birds, a more diverse ecosystem. And so I think it's just a matter of awareness as far as what practices are beneficial. A really biodiverse operation is going to be profitable. I think your mindset, the paradigm shift, is what makes a difference.
Oxbow Farm is a farm we've been doing bird diversity and abundance monitoring for more than 10 years and are looking at how their farming practices are impacting the nesting success of birds.
We moved here 30 years ago. We wanted to live on a farm and raise our kids and be surrounded by natural beauty.
I was concerned at first with, getting maximum output from hay production. But as we went down this path, we realized that it's not about getting maximum output, because you also have to put more back in. It's creating a balance. We have planted about 200 acres in warm season native grasses and wildflowers, and we don't use any herbicides or pesticides.
And knowing that we're in some small way on our farm contributing to science and nature, that gives us the biggest thrill.
Our avian field team is in its 2nd season of monitoring nests. And we're seeing the population of bobolinks just booming on this farm. Bobolinks are really rare in our region. And over the years, this farm has come to realize just how unique these species are to have on their farm. And they've really grown to value these birds.
I had no idea we had all these beautiful birds. Unless you're sort of introduced, you take those things for granted. They were always here. It's just that I never realized how many we had and how beautiful they were.
I want our kids and grandkids seeing all these beautiful native species all over the fields and the forests and our landscapes. I want them to have it. I want to pass that on down to next generation.
As we look forward, we really need to think about how do we manage in the most informed way for a resilient landscape. We need to be adaptive in our management, we need to be inquisitive in our management, and we need to constantly be learning so that we can make smart decisions, and we need to be intentional about what it is we're trying to manage for.
The conservation issues that we're seeing with private lands and public lands are not unique to Virginia. And so what's exciting about a program like Virginia Working Landscapes is it can act as a model. We've seen change in behavior amongst our whole community. We see people collaborating on conservation projects. We see people teaching each other, sharing each other's challenges and opportunities. This is a program that can be used to inspire people to not only work with their community to do conservation, but learn from their community to inform conservation, and then work together to move it forward.